Welcome to the Inspiration North podcast, inspiring stories from inspirational people and how they found their passion, their true north. I'm James Eves.
And I'm Michelle Minikin, and this is the Inspiration North podcast.
Today's episode, what have you done today to better yourself? With Ele Barker. We talk about helping women to get their motivation and enthusiasm back after giving birth, being on the non-plan plan, and experiencing life in all its different ways, and being asked to make sexy toast in the style of Nigella Lawson.
Fitness guru Ele Barker talks to us today about her enthusiasm for life. Owner of Real Mum Fitness and Nutrition, Ele helps her clients to achieve a happier and healthier lifestyle. Her enthusiasm and passion for life is certainly notable in everything she does. After having children, she felt that she had lost her confidence. Little did she know that the gym would be the place where she found her spark and kick-started her new career. Real Mum Fitness was founded and the company grew from strength to strength, as did her own confidence. She recently took to the small screen with an appearance on the popular TV show Come Dine With Me, highlighting her love of food and a fun approach to family cooking. And she feels now that this is only the beginning.
So good morning to you, Ele. It is actually sunny today, which is wonderful. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Good morning, guys. Lovely to see you. Yeah, I'm all relaxed. I've just had a lovely weekend away in Northumberland, so I'm back to work. I'm back to school and ready to go. Can't wait. Let's see what some new challenges life's going to hold from us post-lockdown. So, yeah, excited to see what the future holds.
Definitely.
Awesome.
So with our first question, when you were little, did you know what you wanted to be when you grew up?
I'm sort of going to say a yes and no. I've always, I think, been a bit on the non-plan. That's me. But I did want to be, the thing that sort of drove me throughout my kind of school years was that I wanted to be a model booker, which I'm sure is not probably on most people's career path, but I set about it and I was really, successful. I managed to work my way up from smaller model agencies to larger ones like Storm. So I was working there, interacting, just seeing people in the office like Kate Moss, people like that coming and going. And then when I got the dream, I thought, I'm not sure this is actually the dream that I wanted. So it wasn't quite as glamorous. I don't know if it was glamour that I was after, but it wasn't quite what I was looking for. So I thought, no, I'm going to have a change of tack. I'm going to try something new. So I left and I thought maybe it's events. So I tried events for a while and then I realised you had to work at the weekends and that was a no. I had a little go in advertising agencies, things like that, working in marketing. And I thought, no, maybe that's not for me either. So I had kids. Well, that is for me now. I've got 2 children. I can't get rid of them sometimes.
Stuck with them.
As much as I would like. But I just think it's good to maybe be on the non-plan and to experience life and not to be stuck maybe in a pigeonhole for being, yes, I'm going to be a so-and-so. And then, diligently being that person, maybe even if you don't want to be that person anymore. So I'm a bit of a nouveau hippie at heart, and I'm all about, experiencing life in all its different ways. So, yeah, just try everything, I think. Why not?
Awesome. Well, that has been a lovely podcast. Thank you very much for joining us today. So, I'm really curious, how on earth does one how do you become a model booker? I didn't even know that. Well, clearly that's a job, but
it's a job. Yeah, it is a job. But you just sort of work your way up from the bottom, so you can go in, and it's almost, I'd say, it's very similar to like an office manager job, which is what I've kind of already done. I've moved on to that later, but yeah, you go in and you're kind of like almost mother henning, really. Lots of young girls who've probably moved up to London and are all feeling a little bit lost and alone. And that's really what probably got to me. Maybe I've got quite a mothering instinct, and they'd be in tears that they didn't get this job, or that people would be were being horrible to them, and and I thought, I'm not sure this is the life maybe that I want to lead anymore. Obviously before this Epstein stuff came out. But even so, it just makes you feel a bit uneasy when people are told, you know, this is a casting for a bikini thing. Can you all come into a bikini? And to be judged, I think, for anybody is quite a hard life to have. And I didn't feel actually maybe I was ready for that hard line of judging people. So yeah, my hippie side kicked in, and I'm all about non-judgment and accepting people who are, or they, you know, whoever they are. So yeah, on we go to the next career. Yeah.
Does it take you a long time when you come to realization to say, rather than just say stick in advertising for the next 10 years, do you kind of make a decision and make a move?
I have been. I think when I was in advertising, I was very ruthless about it. I just suddenly woke up. It was after I'd met my husband. I met him in Mexico. I'm sure we'll come back to that one as well. But yeah, and I'd got married, and I thought, why don't I feel really happy? And you know, I think everybody can go into a job, and it's just a job, isn't it? You're going in, you're coming out. And I thought, but why am I not really happy doing this? And I thought, quite frankly, it's really boring. We had to, again, like advertising, everybody thinks really interesting, you know. And we were working on some fantastic projects from some fantastic clients. But to be reading small print, like the tiniest little stuff, and somebody's telling you the APR or the tiny little print isn't quite right. And I just thought, you know what, I think there's more to life than reading small print. So I was like, right, I'm not happy. So yeah, I left without even a job to go to, which I think was a bit of a gamble. But I think probably I had a mortgage, but I didn't have any children. And I thought, let's just go for it. What, you know, whether it's a week or 2 weeks, something's going to come up. And yeah, did. So I became a PA and office manager to a architectural practice. So yeah, it came up like literally, I'd left the job, and probably within even a week, I'd got a new job. And then my career was going up again. So, you know, sometimes to take that leap of faith, I was on more money, I was in a better career, and I was doing had a lot more responsibility, and was taken a lot more seriously. So definitely sometimes taking that leap and doing that change can be so much for the better.
Definitely. So did you purposely go to Mexico to find a husband, or just happen to meet him there?
It just happened. Yeah, I was traveling. He was traveling. He's not Mexican. Yeah. And,
You'll do.
And yeah, we met there. And again, I didn't think, that's another thing, probably what I tell my 18-year-old self, is not to go for a type. Because before, maybe I'd always gone for a type of man and gone, this is my type, this is the only person I'm ever going to accept. And he was not my type. He was blonde and all of this. And actually I thought, no, what a nice person he was. And yeah, that's what attracted me to him. And after we got back in the old days when you had to go to a dial-up internet cafe, I'd go and, you know, message him on that. And then we saw each other for a year, kind of, because I was in London, he was in Leeds, and we went back and forth every weekend until I moved up here. So yeah, good.
Moved up to the God's own country, Yorkshire.
I still struggle some days and have to get the children to interpret either me to them or them to, you know, other people. We have kids round for tea, and I'm like chatting, and I'm like, what did she say? Like this. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, you're quite broad. You know, to my daughter, I'm sorry that your friend's quite broad. Could you tell me what she said? And then Thea will have to say.
It's like, all right, Grandma.
She's like, yeah.
Good skills for the kids to pick up communication.
Yeah. And it goes both ways. The north-south divide. When we go back to Suffolk to go and see friends and families, if we say, oh, we'll meet you for dinner, and my husband's like, so we're going to meet them at lunchtime then, so we're going to, what time did you say? 12:30? I'm like, no, I said dinner. And he's like, so we have to literally phone up friends in the south, be like, when we said dinner, you did assume, didn't you, that we were coming at 7:30? And they're like, yes. Otherwise, we'd be there at lunchtime very promptly. Yeah.
Like, where is everyone? Yeah.
Yeah. You sit there for 7 hours. You have a good little session.
That's funny.
So yeah, definitely some nuances that we have to get around.
Breakfast, dinner, and tea.
Yes. I'm not sure. I reckon know which one's which anymore.
Breakfast is universal though, so we've always got that one.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, it's funny.
So we've got to the architectural practice, PA and office manager. So how was that as a change?
It was really good. I was helping to run the office. I really enjoyed it. We had a practice of probably around kind of 10 architects, architectural technicians, and we were doing some great buildings in the locality, like JCT 600, things like this. So some really nice big firms that we were helping with, and I really enjoyed the role. I feel like I flourished, was able to find my feet. It was lovely to have a boss that appreciated me, and I worked really closely with him. And yeah, I think being a PA's definitely got his perks. I'd get white company candles for Christmas, and all the niceties that go with that role. So yeah, I was really fortunate. And we were on the Harewood estate over just outside Leeds, which was a really beautiful place to be. So at lunchtime we could go out and see deer, and we'd go for a walk. So yeah, it was absolutely idyllic, a really nice, hard working, but equally beautiful place. So I definitely made the right decision to have a little change. And and then came kids, so another career move again.
That's when it was a bit of a turning point, isn't it, in life?
Yeah, I think I don't think anything ever prepares you for being a parent, or for what you think being a parent is going to be like. And so I was, yes, I'll have this baby, and within 3 months I'll be back at work, I'll be back to running the practice. And then I thought, I don't really want to give her to anybody. I didn't feel happy with her necessarily. She did go to a nursery for a little bit, but I felt awfully worried about that. Yeah, it's just very different. Things, how you think you will be, you are very different to that. So yeah, I had my daughter, and I stayed at home for a long time and was a stay-at-home mum, which I think in its own way, and I think for women as well, it's a really difficult actually role to be, because you get other women, why aren't you going back to work? If you ever go to a drinks party and a man asks you, what do you do? When you say you're a staying home mum, literally the conversation stops, and they're like, okay, I need to get away now, because there's nothing else to talk about. But I was like, no, I do have interests. I do have things that I, can talk about. It's not just all about kids, but it's interesting how kind of society views all these different components of life, I think. So I then thought about setting up or doing something like, through being at home. I really enjoyed exercising, but so often you had to go somewhere, on your own, or had to get cover for the kids. So I thought about, I trained to become a fitness instructor myself, and then thought about ways to incorporate bringing the children along to the classes, about getting women's motivation and enthusiasm back again. Because I think after having a child, like, people used to go, oh, you feel like you lose yourself, and I didn't really know what that meant, losing myself. I was like, no, I am still me, I'm still the same person, I haven't lost myself. But actually, maybe looking back, maybe you did lose a bit of your confidence, maybe you lost a bit of your sparkle, all these different things. Maybe you just get locked maybe in a bit of a drudgery of life, of changing nappies and going to play cafes and all this stuff that you thought you'd do. It's very different. And maybe you start to, I don't know, I think maybe I toned down my behaviour, possibly. It seems strange now, but I think I became less confident, maybe being, I don't know whether it was the only southerner in the room or whatever. I think I calmed myself down, and I wasn't the full force properly that I am now. And it's taken me through exercise and through different things to regain my confidence. And so I kind of wanted to give that back to people as well, and to say, it doesn't matter whether you can do 10 sit-ups or 2 or whatever it is. You know, I think people are so judgmental about things that I want to be like, no, we're not judgmental. We're all mums, or actually I've got dads as well, but we're all in this together. And we're not doing this for any other reason than to feel better or to feel happier, you know. And it's not necessarily about losing weight or being this perfect size person. It's about how you feel and how hopefully I can empower people to feel better about themselves. So yeah, it's been a really, really fun journey. And through that, because I felt like I got my confidence back, I thought to myself, I was flicking, as you say, with a glass of Prosecco one night on a Friday night, scrolling through Facebook. I saw somebody put, "Oh, come dine with me, he's in the area. I'm going to apply." And the competitiveness of myself, I was like, no, I'm going to get on, and I'm going to beat you on that. And so I applied. And again, like, I never would have thought that I'd want to be on something like that, or it hasn't been a life goal. It's just one of those things. It's a change in circumstances. It's an exciting thing to try. So I thought, yeah, I'll go for it. So out of, I think, 2,000 people applied, and I got on the show. So yeah, that was
a bold
that
move
was a fun experience.
for sort of getting out of the comfort zone. And it's a great challenge for confidence, isn't it, to think, oh, I'm going to be on TV. That's quite a scary proposition.
It was.
I like it.
And it was so exciting, because, you know, the night before I was thinking, oh, I'm not sure I can do this. But then you think, no, I can do this, because I've met, you know, a new person at a drinks party, or I've met a new person there. It's going to be exactly the same. And yeah, on that first night, because you've never met anybody as well on the first night, you get picked up by a car. There is a knock at the door, but I'll ignore it. You get picked up by a car that with no one you've ever met in before, and they take you to a secret, undisclosed location. So that in itself, from being a very organised person, you know where you're going, you know what you're doing, to suddenly give your life away to these people, you're like, okay, right. And then you get there, and you have to, you know, open the door to you get the door open to you with somebody that you've never met before, and you're full on in the camera, and you have to be, hi guys, you know, you have to turn up like the amplification, like 110%. And yeah, I just had the most wonderful experience. So again, like I'd say to anybody, if you have the opportunity to try something and you feel scared and you think, oh, I can't do this, just to push through, and you'll meet so many interesting people, so many kind people, and just have the most fun time ever. You know, I just used to love getting in a taxi with taxi drivers that I'd never met before. Now, you could sit in the car and be very boring and just get your head down on your phone in your book, or you could say, tell me about you. And then suddenly you've got this dialogue. And I met taxi drivers who had climbed up, I don't know, Kilimanjaro. I had taxi drivers who had autistic children. I had, you know, and every single conversation leaves you richer and more aware of the world. So, like, I just think, have a conversation with anybody. You might find out something about them, and you might really, you know, just have a lovely time. Yeah.
Oh, totally. I'm one of those as well. I'll talk to people. We went on a walk along Hadrian's Wall. We didn't realise how long the walk was that we were doing, and we were woefully unprepared, and I kept stopping and talking to people. So yeah, I suppose it's lovely teacher, and just it was just when the A-level results fiasco happened, and having a proper chat about it, and yeah, we lost this one because he was powering on. Must achieve the goal of getting to where we wanted to go.
That's what I'm like. In lockdown, there's a local walk near us called Simon's Seat, And I was so determined to beat like this other family that were lagging behind, you know, somewhere near us. That my kids were being left behind. I was the same. I was like, no, we're going to make it to the top. Come on, kids. No one falls behind. We've got to go. It is when you've got a long vision like that, and you know you've got to go somewhere. I can't be stopping. I've got to stay focused, stay in the zone, keep pushing through. That's it.
That's brilliant. I was like, oh, look at all these people. I haven't seen people for ages. Let's talk to all of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll see you at the
tree.
Goal.
That's hilarious.
It's nice to see. It is nice to see people again in real life and start talking and having conversations with them. It's fantastic. And yeah, you suddenly realise actually you've been bereft of that, of just where conversation goes, because you're used to talking to all the same people in your own family. So yeah, I definitely say get out, talk to people. You might, learn something and just have a great time. So yeah, I did that and that was brilliant. I recommend it to anybody. Go get yourselves on TV.
So what did you cook?
What did I cook? I did a smoked salmon pate with some little kind of toasts with caviar on top. I did a posh steak sandwich, which was like some lovely sirloins. I feel like I'm going back into it now. I'm selling it to you with some lovely mature aged sirloin steak on some hummus and homemade bread. And then for pudding, I did a homemade pavlova with winter berries and a homemade lemon curd drizzled on top. So
that sounds like the lady that does all the voiceovers for MasterChef. Yeah. Today, Ellie's preparing a smoked salmon pate with caviar garnish.
Well, that's what we had to do. They were like, Ellie, tell me, because you don't kind of, even before you know you're doing it, you don't prepare. And I think my thing was that I love Rick Stein, and I really do have an honest love for him. But then they wanted me to do everything in the style of a TV chef. So when I was doing these toasting of these breads, they were like, could you do it in the style of Nigella? And
sexy bread.
And it's that thing you've got to think on your toes. You think, I didn't know if I really signed up for, creating sexy toast. And then suddenly you have to be, and then suddenly you just had to pull it out of the bag and go, well, I'm slowly pulling down the lever on the toaster and they're warming up in, like
caressing the bread surface with garlic.
Caressing. I didn't even, things like that. I just didn't even know I had it in me, quite frankly. But you just had to, keep on pushing through and, just having fun in everything. So, yeah, why not? Just go for it.
I know what'll happen now. Michelle will be scouring the internet for ways to put me on television.
Pushing you out your comfort zone. It's one of my hobbies.
Why? What kind of thing? Have you got like a list of things you now want to be pushed out of your comfort zone in?
No, James doesn't want to be pushed out of his comfort. He's quite happy being on the,
Well, I do push myself, but Michelle wants that to be faster. So I'll be moving out of the comfort zone, but she's shoving me out of the comfort zone. Come on.
It sounds exactly like the conversation that I have at home with my husband. I'm like, so what are you doing today? How are we progressing things? And he's like, I don't want to hear about you and your motivational books and your motivational guides. He's like, leave that for your fitness people and not for me.
I get a little bit of that pushback too.
What have you done today to better yourself? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
So, definitely.
So, did you win?
Did I win? No. Did I win? No. I came second.
You made sexy toast.
I made sexy toast. The pavlova, people had never eaten pudding before, had thirds. So, quite frankly, it was a fix, I think. No, she was a lovely girl who won, and she did make a a lovely curry. And I think the thing is with curry is everybody loves it. And it was a heartwarming, really nice dish at the end of the week. And people went for that. Although I was slightly disappointed she didn't share £1,000 with me. You know, I was hoping somebody would. Wrong with dog.
Yeah. And, so sometimes they do, people bring in sort of magicians and bagpipers and salsa dancers, and it gets really cringe. Did you do anything like that?
Yeah.
All of them.
On the first night we had it was a Caribbean vibe evening. So but yeah, literally as soon as the door opened and I knew it was a Caribbean evening and you're on TV, and I dressed up in like a Jamaican, almost like a Cool Runnings, zip up top, as if I was going to the Notting Hill Carnival, because I love. So I had my shorts on and my whistle around my neck, and as soon as I walked in the house and was welcomed, the lovely Guy Sanchez, who is a footballer and a BBC Radio Leeds TV radio presenter, said, "Oh, come on, you're dressed for Carnival." So immediately he had to put the whistle in. I just was like, I'm going to have to go for this. Put the whistle in. I was like, yeah. Like grinding with a stranger who I've never met before in his and all I can think is like, this is being recorded and my husband is going to kill me. But at the same time, like, he knows what I'm like. He knows what I'm like, so I've got to do it. But yeah, then later in the night we had they opened the door and it was a surprise. So we had 2 girls, I think, standing in there, like bikinis and the beautiful head accessories, and we all got to then put those on ourselves. We got to play the steel drums. I was amazed. I'm so not musical, and I managed to do like Bob Marley, One Love on the on the steel drum. So that's like one tick off the bucket list I didn't even know I had. So that was good. And yeah, just then we had to just dance around in the sitting room to that. But you just go with it. You think, you know what, this is fun. That you only get one time to do it, so you have to throw yourself in. And I think that in everything, you've got to throw yourself. If you're going to do it 10%, you might as well give it 100, because you can either look, oh yeah, I'm having a great time, or you can be like, yeah, I'm having a great time. So why not do it? But that's what I get from all my ladies in the fitness classes. They're like, oh, you're always so happy, you're always so this. And I'm like, well, I hope that's, just spread the love, share the happiness, and get everybody up and whatever you're doing to feel a bit more happy and motivated in life.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. Right, my head is racing. It's like, oh, what we can.
You're like, oh, this girl's crazy. Not far wrong.
Yes, James is the person that goes on the radio and stuff, because I don't really like not being in control, which is hilarious. So I can be as mad as I want to, as long as I'm in charge. And I'm terrified of swearing as well.
Yeah. I'm terrified my son will be swearing at school today. Never mind me, as long as the children can behave, fingers crossed.
Yes. No, it's such fun. Okie dokie. So tell us a little bit more about what you're doing now.
Right, so now I am teaching. So I decided to become a fitness instructor. And then through that, I thought, actually, I need to learn about pre and postnatal fitness. So I've gone and done more learning about that. Then I thought about Pilates and how wonderful Pilates is actually to help women regain their form and to regain their core strength. So I've done a Pilates course, and I've really enjoyed learning as well, going back to learning, to being on the computer. Again, from being a mum at home, and you don't go on the computer, you're not learning anything, you're not necessarily reading or again, like testing yourself. So it was really interesting to go and do exams, to study anatomy, some really kind of hard core subjects, particularly for someone. I wouldn't say I'm particularly an intelligent person, and so to do learning again was fantastic. So yeah, I did Pilates, and then I was just doing some nice little classes around in the local areas for local gyms, for Valentine's, things like that, and it was all coming along really nicely, really successfully. And then lockdown hit, and again, it's actually been, let's look at the positives. It's been fantastic, and my business through lockdown has just grown, exponentially in ways that I never thought that it would do. Suddenly, yeah, like with the Zoom calls, I've had to take on technology that I wasn't using before, and it's enabled me to get in people's homes all around the world. We've had people phoning in from Porto Pollenza, in Mallorca. I've got people in the Cotswolds. I've had people just take me on holiday. I can go with you on holiday. So they've gone up to Scotland on holiday or wherever. So now it's not just in the locality, it's everywhere, which is fantastic. And yeah, people are like, actually, you can exercise from home. You haven't got to worry about the childcare. You haven't got to worry about getting there to and from, showers, taking your time, all these different things. So yeah, Zoom's been fantastic. And just seeing the business grow from strength to strength. I've used my time in lockdown to learn about nutrition. So I've done a nutritional degree on that. And during lockdown, again, just another kind of element. I'm always into growing and trying new things. So yeah, I just thought, again, nutrition, people are always asking me, what should I be eating? How am I eating? And things like that. And even now, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily like a women's fitness coach, but probably I have fallen into that genre. And then equally to help women maybe going into perimenopause, menopause, things like this, about what we can eat, about what we shouldn't be eating, about exercises we should and shouldn't be doing to be kind to our bodies, has, again, just really kind of awoken a spark in me and an interest about how we can get all these involved in that. And I think if you go to a gym, or if you go to gym classes necessarily, you can't get all that information or all that help in one place. And it's kind of more, my Real Mum Fitness is more than just a class. It really is a group of people literally cheering each other on. I've had people who go, oh, I can't do a plank, and we've all gone and sat there going, you can do it, and we've literally cheered this person on for doing a plank. And sometimes it's taking yourself out of that, again, that comfort zone, and saying, no, I can't do that plank. But you push yourself and say, can you do it for 10 seconds? Yes, you can. Can you do it for 20? Can you do it for 30? And then suddenly they're up for a minute before they even knew it. And they've had that wonderful sense of achievement, during my class, and we're all there cheering each other on. So it's a sense of kind of community, as well as, acceptance and growth. And again, not judging each other, being, this morning I taught a class which I've dubbed Fitness Pilates. So it is fitness and it is Pilates, and I've kind of merged them into each other. I said, again, we can't judge people, because the person next to us might want to go down the more Pilates route, and the person here, this person might be wanting to do more fitness, and that's fine. So we're, just all working together to create a common good, and I think a common happiness, a common bond all together. So yeah, change is good. And can learn a lot from change.
Yes, it's true.
That's the
is it another man good with change?
James is great with change. He keeps leaving countries, and he's a similar career to you, I think.
I don't know why, but Pilates always makes me think of the meme, which is like, oh, Pilates, no thank you. I thought you said pie and lattes.
I think Pilates is a really misunderstood concept. That I think people think, oh, I won't be working hard enough, I won't be sweating, that maybe they just do stretching. But you can do Pilates to whatever degree you want to. I'm determined now. I've got to get you two along to a class. Let's see if we can sweat your pie and lattes out.
That's a good idea. Challenge accepted.
Yeah, well, we are trustees of the Pie Project. Nothing to do with actual pies, but
primary inspiration through enterprise, so slightly different.
Yeah, we're talking about having a pie night though with actual pies.
To be continued.
So we are going to go and move on to the quick fire round. I remembered what it was called this week. Well done me. So question number 1, what would your perfect morning be like?
Oh, well, I think I've actually just had it.
Oh.
We went, I love Northumberland. That's on my goals list. I'd like to have a house or move up there. But we stayed in this most beautiful cottage just now that was literally just over the sand dunes. And we were able to get up in the morning, take the cup of coffee down to the beach. I love I'm going to sound very hippie now, a bit of grounding. Do you guys do your grounding in the morning? You need to get outside, get your feet on the earth itself. James is looking at me like this. Yeah.
No, I'm open-minded.
I was like, well, this morning I walked from the house to the car and
when you walk into the house to the car, take your shoes off, get yourself in connection to the earth, and like just feel its positive vibes. But it's really good for centering your mind in the morning, clearing out, the stress of the day, particularly say if you're doing, the school run and you feel like I've got this project to do, that project, all these different things. It's very calming, but you can get it the best place to do it, let's all dash to the seaside, is where the water meets the sea. So if you stand in that area, paddling is very good for the soul. So I stood there, I paddled, the sun came out, had my cup of coffee, and I was a very happy bunny. So yes, let's escape to the seaside.
Oh, well, you're more than welcome in Northumberland.
I was thinking the only thing that was grand this morning for us was the coffee.
Oh, bless you.
So question number 2. If you inherited a private jet from a stranger, what would you do with it?
Oh, a private jet. Oh, I love traveling. I absolutely adore traveling. And that would be my tip to anybody. Like, if you're not traveling, travel. I would get on my private jet and I would go to the Maldives. And I would enjoy the nature there. I'd swim with the sharks, the dolphins, the whatever else. And I'd take the kids. And even during lockdown, actually, the thing that I kept on saying to my husband was, why don't we just sell the house? Let's sell the house and we could be a traveling family. We could travel around the world. Now we can homeschool the kids. And I didn't know we could do this. Why don't we stay like this forever? This would be great. That was probably in week 2.
Yes.
So the reality of homeschool kicked in. And I definitely know I'm not a teacher.
Yeah.
But I just think traveling around, and I think for the kids as well, traveling around the world, seeing different things, different experiences. I'd love to go to India, the Taj Mahal, all these different places. I have. I say I'm not one for, the plan, but I've certainly got my goals and things that I want to do, places that I want to see. And I think travel is so enriching, enlightening for all of us. So yeah, I'd be on that jet, circling the earth, here, there, everywhere. Yes. Wouldn't get it back. He wouldn't stop me.
And question number 3 is, what is the most annoying noise?
I don't know. An annoying noise. People would probably say I'm quite an annoying noise. But no, I don't have an annoying noise, I don't think. I don't know. That's a strange one.
That's a strange question, isn't it? Yeah. I have lots of annoying noises, but yes. I've got that thing where certain noises make me really angry.
I like noises. I like, I'm going to say the ticker on your car, but like your car indicator. When we go car shopping, we do that quite a lot, but it's always the indicator. I'm like, has it got a good ticker? Let's just listen. And if it's got a good ticker, then we might possibly buy that car. But it doesn't matter what car it would be. If it's got an annoying ticker, I wouldn't be buying that car. So
That's funny.
That's good. And so the final question. So if we could take you back to your 18-year-old self, what advice would you give to her?
Well, yes, I would say it's okay to be on the non-plan plan. That you don't have to have a career goal. You don't have to become a a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer. You can, and even now I'd say to anybody, you can be happy doing whatever. And I think it's about being true to you and about being what interests you, maybe not in 4 years' time, but what interests you now. And to just try and be happy and enjoy your life for what it is. To be grateful for what you've got, to actually realise that we're all very, very fortunate. I was watching the Sue Perkins documentary last night about Mexico, and that struck a chord with me. And we're so lucky to be born where we are born, you know. So things like that, I'd say be grateful about things like that. I would say change is good. Embrace change to myself. I think change is fantastic. As I'm getting older, I'm learning to embrace change and the positivity of change even more, that it's refreshing, it's rejuvenating. It can create some fantastic opportunities that you didn't even know were there. It can create change within yourself. So don't be afraid of change. Don't think, oh, this next step's scary. Go for change. What else would I say? Don't go, I said it earlier, don't go for a type. Let's talk about men and women. Don't go for a type, you know. Open your eyes. Don't say, because I think there's all, even now, like Love Island, oh, what's your type on paper and all this. You're probably too intellectual.
Yeah, we don't watch it. But we do watch other worse things, probably. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, were like intimate friends with all of them in our heads.
Yeah, I'm thinking you and I could now be best friends if you like Housewives.
It's not just me.
Oh, which one? Housewife is my all-time favourite.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, Beverly Hills is good. I'd say Beverly Hills. And did you watch $1 Million Property Listing as well?
Yeah. We didn't
So
like any of them though.
Have you seen Selling Sunset?
Yes, love that one.
These are all our lockdown sanity.
$1 Billion Beach House, that's not as good, that one. I didn't feel that. I felt that fell far short.
Yeah. Agreed.
I find it though, it's interesting. Like sometimes like friends of mine would poo-poo about watching stuff like this. But I'm actually, again, like you can take the positives of watching trash on TV. One, the Americans, always positive. You know, they're always actually, as much as we can go, oh, they're annoying. They are annoying, but hang on a minute. They're looking to better themselves. They're looking to push forwards. You know, you look at the businesses that some of these women or different people have done, and they've pushed themselves. They've grown. They've taken opportunities, and they've developed. They've also taught me about talking to people, hearing people, responding to people, and how conversations or arguments, maybe misunderstandings, particularly in lockdown. I hear you, I hear what you're saying, I'm taking that on board, and here's how I can change, or to hear what you know. I think it's you can get locked into an argument very quickly, and you can both start shouting, and actually it's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about hearing the other person's grievances, and recognizing that and saying, yes, I can hear you. So yeah, Housewives is not all bad.
Yeah, and you have to own it.
That's what I learned as well. You've got to be yourself. You've got to be true to yourself. And that's what I thought, like on Come Dine With Me, I'd say something. The worst one was, they said, how bland was this food? And I said, well, let's put it this way, it wasn't as bland as my mother-in-law's food. And I thought, oh, now if that one comes out, that could cause quite a lot of offence. I thought, no, you know what? I've said it, I've got to own it. and that's the thing. If it comes out of your mouth, you have to be true and say, yeah, okay, I'm going to have to apologise to my mother-in-law if that comes out on TV. Maybe I should say to her, maybe you should add some seasoning. But
candid feedback, isn't it?
but yeah, there's all different, you know, there's all different ways to learn of different things. So, yeah.
But I always think with trashing TV, it reminded me of my sister's English teacher reminded the class, now we can all read classics, but you must also read a bit of trash in between to sort of appreciate the classic works from Dickens and others. So
Emily Bronte to Jilly Cooper.
it was fun to read both.
Yeah, I do. I think it is good to have a balance, and sometimes equally, like, we need to switch off and to have a bit of like escapism and to see something else is really good. You know, you've got to enjoy life. And I do. If I'm not sitting down at 5 o'clock watching Housewives, I'd be a much more miserable person. It has to be said. So find your happy place and embrace it, and don't be like, no, I don't do that. I think that's the thing as well, like conforming. You know, people going, no, I don't. I'd never watch Housewives. It's very.
we don't watch any, like, we don't watch Love Island or anything like that. But it's I can almost cope with the Americans' trash rather than the British trash, because it's a bit too close to home, I think.
But I do. I feel like I've learned the sell. You know, maybe I could go on and sell my $1 billion house listing. But it gives you that. I think that fire when you see people in the world who are selling, who are pushing themselves forward as well, that actually we can all do this. You know, they're no different from any of us. And, you know, let's sell $1 million property. Yeah.
And then when Lisa Rinna and Erica Girardi and us go for dinner, we'll definitely invite you along, because I think you enjoy that. We've decided they're our favourites.
She's interesting, Erica Jane. Yeah, I quite like her. Yeah, and Lisa Rinna with her dancing. I think you know, dancing on the tables. That would be a good night, wouldn't it?
It would be hilarious.
It would.
Awesome. So, if somebody likes the sound of you, wants to get in touch, where's the best place to find you on the internet?
So I have a Instagram page. I've got Real Mum on Instagram. I've also got me, Ele Barker. I'm always up for friending people. If you want to be my friend, it's fine. Just Ele Barker on Instagram. The same on Facebook, Ele Barker, and it is Real Mum _fitness on Facebook as well.
Awesome.
That's been great. We've really enjoyed chatting.
Yes, we have. We've had a blast. So thank you so much for taking the time to hunt us down after you heard Hannah's podcast with us.
Well, I just thought it looked like a bit of fun, and again, try something new. There we go.
Definitely.
I think that's going to be the title of your podcast, actually.
Yeah, try something new, push yourself out comfort zone. But even before this, I suddenly thought, oh, actually, you know, maybe I should be folding the laundry or something. You know, instead, maybe I should have phoned them and maybe say I don't want to do this. You know, I could feel a bit nervous about doing this.
I would track you down because we've run out of podcasts, so we needed you to do it today.
Have I really prepared myself for this? And I thought, no, this is going to be fantastic. And it has been, guys. So thank you both very much for your time. I've really enjoyed it, and look forward to Northumberland and Real Housewives get together soon.
Yes, woohoo! Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Let's get them up to Anig. That would be good. Real Housewives.
Real Housewives of Anik.
Short programme, maybe. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. Should I be like this? Bye.
Thanks everyone for listening. Check out all the show notes at inspirationnorth.com. Join us again for the next episode, when we'll be chatting to another inspirational person. If you like this, subscribe and tell your friends. If you didn't like this, subscribe anyway and tell everybody.